Are blunted, and against the Red Devils we were stunted. Possession galore and nothing more leaves the players and the fans pretty sore. In FPL, nothing great, but then again, it's not too late. The good, the bad, and the ugly for EPL and FPL game weeks number 30 and 31, brought to you by the LFC file. Roll the intro, Mo. Welcome back, one and all, for the latest episode of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly at Liverpool FC podcast, brought to you by the LFC file and, of course, myself, Ben Green. As you can hear, my voice is still not great, but there you go, I'm still here, all things said and done, so can't complain too much. As always, if you like the content, remember to like, subscribe, press the notification bell so you know when the next episode comes out, and of course tell your friends and fam so that we can continue to spread the word and grow the community. So yeah, this picture you can see is a pear, but it is strikingly similar to something that we all have, lads, which is basically a gonad sack, to put it mildly. With the caption below, get to know your nuts in 3 simple steps. Now, what this refers to is the fact that April is actually global, worldwide testicular cancer awareness month, if you didn't know. So if you didn't, you do now. And I'm going to share a link to the Movember website. As you know, I celebrated Movember in November, took part in that. And there's basically some instructions there to show you, if you don't know, how to check your crown jewels to see that all is in order. Some would say it's an embarrassing topic, but the wise would say that it's actually a much needed and very important topic. So if you want to know, if you need to know, you should know, check it out. I'm going to put a link down below in the description. Very apt to get it down below. So please check that out and check them out and make sure everything's okay. I've done that and I have a scan once a year, and so far all is good. So I would urge you to do it if you haven't done it as yet. And for most Liverpool fans, I think you'd agree that the good this week is most definitely the 3-1 win against the Blades, Sheffield United at Anfield during the week. Not the best performance, but when you're playing against a side which is rock bottom of the league, there's no one said that it's going to be a very easy task ever at all. So yeah, good result at the end of the day, better than a draw, as we'll come on to later. But yeah, it was a good game actually. And I've got Carol Redhall's tweet here where she says, full time, Liverpool 3, Sheffield United 1, Liverpool are back at the top of the table, and they were. So it was a good game. There were goals from, firstly, Núñez scored in very bizarre fashion. He sort of charged down the goalkeeper's clearance, and the ball deflected and went into the net. So that was a nice way to take the lead, if not strange. And Sheffield United equalised, unfortunately, through Conor Bradley's own goal. But yeah, what can you say? Shit happens. In the second half, there are some substitutions made, as obviously, I wouldn't say obviously, as always seems to be the case the last season or two with Liverpool. The substitutions tend to make a huge difference to the direction and the rhythm in general of the game. So we had Robertson come on for Gravenberch, which was more of an injury. I think Gravenberch was injured. Then around 72, 73 minutes, we had Gakpo come on for Gomez and Jones come on for Szoboszlai. And a couple of minutes after that, Alexis Mac Allister scored an absolute worldie that put the Reds in the lead. Put the Reds in the lead, and just with one of the last kicks of the game, Cody Gakpo scored a very textbook header, converting a cross from, I think it was Robertson. I can't remember. But very good header. It's nice to see him score, actually, Cody Gakpo, because he's coming for a bit of stick of late, which I think is probably unwarranted, if the truth be told. And that brings us swiftly on to the bad. And the bad this week is, without doubt, the result against Man United yesterday at Old Trafford, where Liverpool, despite taking the lead through Luis Diaz, were held 2-2 against Man United. Yeah, so disappointing result, I would say. I wouldn't say it's particularly bad, but it's not great. It's not good, but it could be a lot worse. And to be honest, if you say, you know, this draw has left us joint at the top of the table, awful. I think this is a problem that 18 other teams in the Premier League would like to have, to be perfectly honest. So, yes, not a brilliant result. Man United got lucky with their equaliser, as we know. It was a shame that Joel Quantz's pass was intercepted by Bruno Fernandes, and yeah, it was quick thinking and a good goal from him, actually, to sort of fire it into the net from the centre circle. So fair play to the guy, as much as it burns me to say so. And then Kobe Mainu, his middle name is actually Boateng. Kobe Boateng Mainu showed why Gareth Southgate has called him into the England side, because he scored a screamer to put Man United, undeservedly, it has to be said, in front. And Salah tucked away a penalty, which Liverpool earned when Harvey Elliott was brought down in the United area with around 5 minutes left to play. So fairly standard penalty from Salah, although we've seen them missed before. 2-2, as I say, a result could be worse when you consider the amount of possession Liverpool had and the amount of chances they created in the first half. The game really should have been done and dusted, actually. You know, within 40 minutes, let alone 45 minutes, it should have been out of sight. So that's something which Liverpool will have to work on. If buts and maybes, I could be forgiven for thinking that or saying that if Diogo Jota was playing, it would have been a different story, because I personally believe he's a better and more consistent finisher than Mo Salah, this is for sure. There's not much in it, but I would say he's slightly better. He's been very good this season, been really consistent, and it's just a shame that we've lost him at such a vital stage of the season. I think he should be back before the season finishes, but he was definitely missed yesterday. Yeah, what can you say? I've got a tweet here from Liverpool FC. The points are shared at Old Trafford, 2-2 full time. What more can one say? Not a great deal. Brings us swiftly and sadly onto this week's ugly. And the ugly this week, it burns me to say, is the abuse which Jarell Quansah has suffered on Instagram following his pass in yesterday's game that was intercepted for Bruno Fernandes to score. I'm afraid this is something which England has as a societal issue, that people are very fickle and frankly two-faced. And I'm fairly sure that among that criticism, because I've seen people on social media say, I can assure you this was no Liverpool fan. How do you know? Why not? It's one of those things. We've seen it before with England, and it's the same with Jarell Quansah. For me personally, I'm actually happy that the way he reacted. He's obviously someone who is mentally, anyway, reasonably resilient, and I think you have to be to play in Liverpool's team and against a team like Man United. It's something that you need to be able to deal with this kind of thing and not let your game crumble. So I'm glad that he played well and continued to play well after that. I've got the tweet here from Anything Liverpool. Jarrell Krantz's Instagram comments have been limited due to the amount of abuse he's been getting. Think before you speak, definitely. And as I said earlier, we have a problem that 18 other teams in the Premiership and numerous other teams across the world would like to have, in that we drew a game yesterday, we didn't lose, and we're joint first, albeit on goal difference, whatever, at the top of one of the toughest leagues in the world, if not the toughest league in the world. So what is there really to complain about? Ridiculous. Yeah, there's still another 8 games to play, I believe. We've got 30, 38, another 7 games to play now. And that 7 games, by my humble childhood math, gives us 21 points left to play for. And I doubt that Arsenal will win all of their remaining games. There are a few twists and turns left to go. We've seen in the past that the Premier League is often settled on the last game or 2 of the season. It's not like in the Bundesliga, where I think Leverkusen are probably going to wrap everything up next week. And before we wrap up, 2 things. One of them is the FC Grumpy Bastard Fantasy Football League update. And last week, we've had 2 game weeks, of course. So in game week 31, as it is, or as it was, in FPL, I got 57 points against the average of 46. So that was the second of 2 very good weeks. And then you can see here the bubble burst, the wheels fell off, whichever phrase you want to use. But there I've got 38 points, just slightly over the average. Not brilliant. But you can see I've got my captain choices mixed up on both occasions. On week 31, I chose Salah instead of Palmer, and then Palmer goes and scores a hat-trick, 20 points, and Salah just gets 2 and sulks because he's been subbed off, so that didn't help. And then for yesterday's game week, I went with Son. I brought him in, and he's just got 10, and Salah gets 7 as my vice captain, and would have given me another few points. Anyway, it is what it is. I've still got Morris, who's on the bench, and he actually got 8. So there you go. Thanks very much, Solanke and Isaac. They've not done me much at all this week. So yeah, never mind. That's how it is. And in the league situation, on the Dusseldorf Super League, you can see I'm still in 8th. I think I've scored the lowest actually this week. Yeah. And in the League of Kings, I'm not going to bother with the number. The League of Kings, I've fallen a couple of places to 4th. Tripler FC have had a blinding week with 91. And this is just one of those cases of, all your eggs coming home to roost, so to speak. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But anyway, everything that could have gone well went well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of the podcast for this week. Thanks very much for stopping by. If this is the first time you've seen it, if you like it, please do like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. That would help massively. And also, you could follow the blog on Facebook, Instagram, and X. That would also be very nice. Thank you very much. So until next week, all take care of yourselves. Enjoy the weather. It's looking a bit better, which is nice at last. And yeah, be good, and I'll see you all next week. Peace. ULFC 5.